From a distance, it may not be clear, but up close there is no mistaking the product. Most recreational boats that fish the ocean buy bait here, and so does every boat in San Diego's commercial sport fishing fleet.
We're crowding up all the sardines that are in this box here. Crowd them all up so we can scoop them out with our nets.
Mike Ramirez is captain of the Excel, one of the fleet's larger vessels.
Take a small scoop, anywhere from 10 to 15 baits per scoop, and put them in the bigger bait tanks on board.
He doesn't trust this job to anyone else. No captain does. Lively bait doesn't guarantee good fishing, but bad bait will ruin a trip.
You want to be as gentle as possible with the bait because you want it to live. This trip we're leaving on is a 15-day, so you want it to live at least that long or longer.
The scoop and dump routine is well oiled, but still takes 2 hours to fill up the bait holds with mackerel, sardines, and anchovies. Ramirez can't imagine having to catch his own bait or having to do without.
To try to fish for tuna and wahoo and all the pelagic species that we do, you need live bait to fish for it. I mean, you can catch it other ways with artificials and hoppers and so forth, but it's very difficult. And it just makes it a lot easier. Our job's a lot easier.
This is a sport fishing boat, and we run 1- and 2-day trips out of Fisherman's Landing.
Buzz Brizendine owns and captains the Prowler.
These are all rod holders where the passengers would keep their rods when we're fishing.
He's run a successful sport fishing business here since 1979.
If we had to get our own bait, there just aren't enough hours in a day. Because in the summer when we're fishing every single day, we leave at 10 p.m. and we'll typically run all night, be on the grounds in the morning, and fish until the mid-afternoon, and then run back to the landing and do it all over again.
Federal officials estimate Southern California sport fishing boats carry 1 million passengers each year. San Diego gets a fair chunk of that business.
In the summer, there are 50 to 75 of this class boat that fish every single day. And then there's, quite a private boat fleet of smaller boats that also fish and depend on the same bait receiver that we use.
And a federal report estimates the sports fishing industry makes a $2.2 billion splash in the region's economy. And it is Jason Dunn's job to make sure that the boats leaving San Diego Bay are carrying plenty of live bait. He hires local fishing boats to keep his bait pens full. Unlike deep-sea vessels that chase tuna out in the open ocean, bait boats scour nearshore areas.
It's a lot different because you're dealing with a smaller animal that's trying to hide from a lot of game fish. And most of the time they're in close, inside of rocks or inside of kelp, and it's hard to fish nets inside of that. So it's very difficult for fishermen to fish in those conditions.
Things are a little slower in the spring, but the operation runs around the clock in the summer. When it comes to the bait, Dunn keeps track of everything.
We know when it came in, how it came in, where it came from, and that all determines on how well it does out when the customer takes it. So that's helpful too.
The small fish are delicate, crews avoid handling them, and that's why the Navy Pier project is an issue. Driving the pier pilings into the bay floor will be loud. So loud that some marine mammals could be hurt.
And fish. And they're afraid to disturb all of our fish that are here. They don't want to kill all our fish, so we have to move during that time.
The new anchor spot is just off Harbor Island, and the barge may stay there for a couple of months or the rest of the year. Regardless of the location, however, it will remain a must-visit way station for recreational anglers. Erik Anderson, KPBS News.